Hey, welcome into the next round cocktail hour with Brittany Wagner and Kelly Hunter. I am their guest bartender today, Lance Taylor from the next round. How are we?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good. So I'm going to make you guys, I'm not really going to make it.
Come here often?
This is how I do it.
From scratch.
This is like dinner.
Yeah, I used to call we're going to cook out tonight. I would pick up from a barbecue restaurant. So this is me making y'all a drink.
Would you put it on your own platter?
Yeah.
Or like to try to make people think
I
you made
didn't do
it?
that.
Or you just
That's
like,
Thanksgiving every year. I get it catered from somewhere.
Same.
Did you practice before doing this, or is this?
Am I not fluid?
Well, no, I didn't know.
Oh!
Because I think you're supposed to.
An IV bag. I'm scared.
I think you're supposed to pop the part like
Oh,
that
really?
open.
Okay, well, I'll get it figured out. So anyway, it's the Next Round Cocktail Hour is always brought to you by Next Round Cocktails. It's a line of crowd-pleasing cocktails made with real fruit juice, premium wines, stylishly packaged, as you can see here, in a convenient format to simplify the pour. I did dig that up, so that's on me. I'll own that. I was not supposed to take it out.
Simplifying the pour.
That's why I asked if you'd done this before. Did you
Premium
try one?
quality cocktails using natural ingredients, ready to drink. Cocktails taste like they were freshly made at home, so I could have taken credit for this. We just simply pour over the ice. We've got the ice, we've got the glasses. We're doing the classic margarita today, which is 14% ABV. My gosh.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
see that?
Look at
Look
this.
at that.
Damn. You were an ex-bartender, though,
I
right?
am a
Yeah.
former bartender. Yes.
Yeah, I've done it before too. So I
Done.
guess we're just gonna pull this.
Yeah. Wait,
gonna-
is that a safety on there?
Oh shit.
That's why we should have done a
is
trial
going
run on
well.
this.
No, just hang
In
with
the
me.
meantime,
And-
I would like to talk about this ice.
Okay, what's wrong with the ice?
I love it.
Yeah, I
so
think it's kind of
cute.
cool. I've never seen it.
It's like tiny little ice. It's like got a little character.
See, I think me actually.
No. Character ice.
Son of a bitch. I think me cutting the bag would have
I
been.
think you maybe take the red part off.
Here, you try it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna drink the water from the ice.
Anyway, Next Round Cocktails, we appreciate their sponsorship. I've had these a bunch, and they're really, really good. So looking forward to, as we record on Monday, there we go. I just need her to bartend.
There we go.
Y'all don't even need me.
Next week, Kelly is our guest bartender. And Lance, you can just move to another area.
Yeah, again, they didn't need me. But I want to remind you, cocktail hour at nextroundlive.com, you can drop these two a question, and we've got a great mailbag today. So we're just going to play mailbag for a little bit, see how that goes. Is that fair?
I'm a little scared.
Okay, so as we pour your cocktails, I'll let you get one there, Kelly. Again, with Brittany Wagner, Kelly Hunter. Make sure you tell your friends, tell them to like, subscribe. Always brought to you by Next Round Cocktails and Blakelee's Bouquets. We'll tell you more about Blakelee's here in a little bit. Cheers.
Yes.
Very good.
I know. I didn't take a sip yet. So.
I like.
Our glasses have like gone up too. Like we're,
Oh yeah, that's good. Okay, here's one for you. Craig from Winfield asked, I was watching an edition of Mystery Fifth Hour and heard you guys list your first job and worst job. What about Brittany and Kelly's answers to both? So let's go worst job, first job. First job first.
First job. Chick-fil-A. My pleasure.
I think I remember that. Now what is what is
Wow.
behind the my pleasure instead of
I have
saying
no idea because I'm so old that when I worked at Chick-fil-A, that had not come up with that yet. Like we didn't say my pleasure back
So
then.
you could say you're welcome.
The thing back then that was like the sticking point, like the thing they drilled into you, because back then we paid with cash. I know, crazy concept. But so the thing back then was to count the change. Like if somebody gave you a 20 and I do remember this is so weird. The number one combo, which was the Chick-fil-A sandwich and fries and a drink, was $4.63.
And you still remember
I will
that?
never forget that. I
Yeah.
don't know. But when people gave you a 20 and it was $4.63, like you had to count the change back, and if you didn't, man, they would annihilate you.
But I mean, you knew that it was 1537, right? Just because that was ingrained.
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, you had
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
say like 10, 15, 37 cents. Like you had to put it in their hand. And
Yeah,
like,
see, I
say
never
it
worked
as you
retail
go.
like that, having to count back like that.
I've had a lot of retail
Chick-fil-A
jobs.
is a well-oiled machine.
It is.
I'm just wondering when they got to that tipping point of saying, no more, you're welcome, my pleasure. Is that like a disrespect thing, or
I don't know.
makes no
It's like a
sense?
southern. I think it's a very southern, well behaved.
I say you're welcome, though. Don't you?
I do. Did you always work the register? Did you ever have to work like
Oh
the
no,
fryer?
my favorite part. I would work the register, but my favorite part was washing dishes.
What kind of dishes do
What do
they
they
have
wash?
at Chick-fil-A? Everything's paper and plastic.
I know. What do they wash?
No, okay.
Paper, plastic, and foam. There are no dishes.
Yes, there are.
By the way,
Yes,
I'm the one
there
that has to
are.
wash the dishes here
And I
all the
loved
time.
washing the dishes. No, but remember when they had lemon meringue pie? Do y'all remember that?
No, I remember carrot raisin salad.
Yes.
Yes.
And I can't believe people would eat that
Okay,
shit.
well, but carrot raisin salad, they made it homemade. Like they made it. I mean, they had mixing
Yeah, because where
bowls,
else are they going to
and
get it? Can you even buy that anywhere?
I don't know, but they made the lemon meringue pie from scratch. Like there was somebody in the back that was their job was to make lemon meringue, and so we had to wash all of that all those cooking utensils.
Well, see, this makes sense now why they don't have the or the carrot raisin salad or the lemon meringue, because it takes too much time. The
Yeah.
volume.
And I liked washing the dishes because I would lick the spoon. Like the lady would get through making lemon meringue pie and she would just bring me the dishes and they'd be fresh and I would just sit back there and lick the spoon before.
Do you actually hand wash dishes now or just washing machine? Dishwasher?
Some, both. Like I don't put my pots and pans in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
I wash those by hand, you know. I don't wash my like cutting boards in the dishwasher. So
We
I
put
wash
everything in
those
the
by hand.
dishwasher at my house. Everything.
Yeah, I pretty much do too. Now I know that the roommate's got some kind of pots and pans she doesn't like to put
Calphalon.
in
You're
there.
not supposed to put Calphalon.
Yeah, and there's a couple of glasses we're not supposed to. But anyway, okay. So Chick-fil-A for you, first job.
Lifeguard.
Lifeguard. Where?
Wow.
Back in Atlanta. So
Okay.
I lifeguarded. Yeah, I lifeguarded like for 3 summers in a row.
Did you spin your whistle?
Oh,
on your
totally.
fingers?
Oh
Did you
my
have a red
gosh.
bathing suit? Were you Baywatch? Because you kind
We
of
did.
have that
And
Baywatch
well, and the
look.
big thing, first year we had like the standard, but second year you could get a 2-piece.
I was going to ask the Dunaway question: 1-piece or 2-piece?
First year and there were not any, and then second year was 2-piece, so it was like revolutionary.
How old were you?
I started lifeguarding when I was 15. So I did that like every summer, and then I worked retail during the winter.
Is that one of those summers where everybody just hooks up with every lifeguard and y'all just hang out together and drink beer at some abandoned house or
Not
circle?
really, no.
Okay.
No,
So you never dated a lifeguard?
no. They're always a bunch of randos, really. I mean, I think they purposely did not put you with friends because they knew that you would do nothing.
Did you ever have to save somebody?
I know. I was about
Once,
to ask that.
only once. This kid he hit his head on the diving board, and kind of freaked out. Like when I watched it and I saw it, and I got to dive off the stand and went in and got him.
So when I was 8, I fell off the high dive and landed on concrete.
Oh, what?
Yeah. It was completely fine. I mean, I cried and was really upset.
You probably had a
Terrifying.
concussion.
Yeah, like if it happened to me now, I'm dead.
Well, you
I mean,
probably had a
there's,
concussion and
like,
we just
100%
didn't-
dead.
And that,
Did you ever get on a diving board again, or did it like terrify?
No,
like,
no.
you
So
were
what
afraid of
happened
it?
was my older brother and his friend were playing this you go as fast as you can
Yeah,
up
oh
the
yeah,
ladder.
yeah.
And I
The slippery aluminum ladder.
That was
Yeah.
it. And came tumbling down. They got rid of high dives because of stuff like that.
Oh, the insurance on that
Yeah.
kind of stuff and slides.
Okay,
What was your first job?
my first job was selling garbage bags door to door when I was 12 years old
What?
for the Dixie Bag Company.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get
Was that
job?
also your worst job?
I mean, looking back then, you know, it was really good sales experience for me
Yeah.
because I'm a 12-year-old out on my own knocking door to door with these housewives coming to the door and me giving this whole pitch about the Dixie Bag Company, how much stronger it was than Hefty, and 10% was going to go to cancer. I don't know if the guy ever sent 10% to cancer or not. I hope he did. That's
Did
what
you get paid
it wasn't my
per? Did you get
pitch.
paid per sale
Yeah.
per bag?
Yep.
Okay.
I got
You got a commission off this?
I got $3 for every box I sold.
Okay.
And my record in a day was 12 boxes.
Nice.
And people were pumped. That's a pretty good day, though.
That's a
day.
12 boxes,
Were you like the
36
leading
bucks.
Yeah.
salesman?
I think I
win
was.
an
And I was the
award?
youngest, though. He had a team of like 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, it was good for sales experience. I mean, I wouldn't recommend my 12-year-old go to door. I mean, it's a little dangerous when you think about it,
How did
right?
you find this guy, or how did he find you?
I was playing in a yard in the neighborhood, honestly. Yeah.
It's like
Guy in
Wild
a
Abraham.
van rolls up,
He
like, hey,
pulled up-
buddy, come here.
He had a Toyota Prelude, which I
sell
thought
some-
was so cool back in the day. This is like 1984. And he had a Toyota Prelude, but my neighbor knew him. So that was, like, I don't even know if I
That's
asked
enough
my
vetting.
parents.
That's enough vetting for.
Yeah. I don't even know if I asked my parents if I could do it or not. Again, next round, cocktail hour, Brittany Wagner, Kelly Hunter. I'm hanging out today. They're letting me just really of no use because I couldn't even open this and do
What a
this right.
bartender you
I was
are.
going to be a bartender today, but Kelly figured it out. Anyway, you need to pick one of these up. This is awesome, great party thing.
They were very good.
10 servings per. So,
I know.
you know, you on a date, you get 5 of these each, 14% ABV.
You know what else is good? Put a little
Kidding.
You're
I'm
done.
kidding.
If you add a little Grand Marnier to it too, that
A little salt.
Yeah.
little Grand Marnier, a little salt.
Blakelee's Bouquets. You guys like flowers, right?
Love. I do.
They craft both traditional, contemporary bouquets with plenty of room for customization and uniqueness. This goes for every arrangement that we sell, from our anniversary arrangements to new baby gifts, birthday flowers, and all of our other options, on top of our everyday arrangements that we offer with same-day flower delivery right here in Birmingham and beyond. We also do large event work for weddings and funerals as well. So if you're looking for wedding flowers or simply funeral flowers in Birmingham, then Blakelee's Bouquets is your best choice. Blakelee'sBouquets.com. We appreciate their sponsorship. Okay, worst job.
I was just trying to figure that out. I mean, first I was like, no, I haven't had any worst jobs. And then I was like, I've had a lot of worst jobs. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. I had a job right out of college for the Charlotte Knights, AAA baseball club for the White Sox. But I was like low man on the totem pole, just graduated college, like no experience. So you can imagine they give that person like the shittiest stuff to do on the planet. I actually worked for Tommy John though.
Oh, really?
Like the guy, Tommy John.
Interesting.
And I was like, he introduced himself.
Is he still alive?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that's one of those living your dads. I couldn't tell
I know.
you.
I don't
But
know.
it's crazy. He was a good pitcher, but he's most known now for the surgery.
I know, right?
I bet there's current players that don't even realize Tommy John played.
Right. They would think he's the
Oh.
doctor or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
We're
or
looking
just
for
think
Dr.
it's
Tommy
just
John.
something, like not even a real person. You know,
Yeah.
like I was like, wait, when he introduced himself, I'm like, wait, you're like the.
See, that sounds like a cool job, though.
No, here was the problem. He was the director of community relations for the AAA, which that team at the time was in Rock Hill, South Carolina. It was the Charlotte Knights, but it wasn't even in Charlotte. It was at a stadium
Oh, it wasn't even
outside
in
of
North
Charlotte.
Carolina.
I know, it was in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So it was like, you know, you have to bus these guys in to do community service in Charlotte because they don't even play or live in Charlotte. It's strange. But anyway, director of community relations is supposed to get them out into the community to do community service. Well, half of that team was from the Dominican Republic and didn't speak English. So to get them to go read to kindergartner
How's your
classes
Spanish, by the
tough.
way?
isn't going to work. My habla es like me amo Brittany. That's about all I got. So that's it. And then the other half were like Frank Thomas, who was injured at the time and playing for us, or first round draft picks out of high school who just made
Bonus babies. who
15
don't-
million and were like, screw you, I'm not doing anything but spending my money. So it was impossible. Like there was literally a day where I dressed up in the mascot suit and went and did the community service myself.
God.
Those smell so bad.
Because
Oh, those
I
things
could
smell so
could
bad.
never get the players to do anything.
And that's in the summer, too, right?
Oh.
How hot is that?
It was terrible. And I mean, those people don't realize how much minor league people work.
Well, I know how wild
it's
baseball
crazy.
players are because one of my best friends played for a while, and I used to travel with them a little bit. They are crazy. So I assume you got hit on a lot.
No.
I mean, you were out of college.
But you don't. I didn't really
She didn't
have
speak Spanish either.
that
So-
much interaction with the
Which,
players
that's
because they
actually
wouldn't do
better. They
community
probably,
service.
Oh.
they probably appreciated that.
I never.
Those were some of the worst guys in locker rooms, I will say. The non-English speaking players, because you never knew what they were saying,
Yeah.
and it was awful. And like I'd have guys
Do
come
y'all
over
worry
and
about that
apologize.
when you go get a manicure or pedicure? That they're just completely dogging you out?
I just figure they are.
Yeah.
I mean, you just kind of are like, okay.
Okay, worst job for you?
It started off as a good job, and it ended terribly. It was my job in Topeka, Kansas, when it was the last job before I came to
Topeka's a
Birmingham.
shithole, by the way.
It is, but I spent a year there trying to get out, and it was great. I was getting great experience, and I got a new sports director, and there was not a term for it until I heard it later. He was totally gaslighting me. I would like submit stories, and he would erase them, and be like, "You didn't submit the story," and like would yell at me in front of like everyone, and like people who knew me and knew I wasn't, and like finally like I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. So I was more aggressively job searching because he was trying to get me fired.
Yeah, I've had one guy like that. We were talking about grudges before, and I told you I've got one grudge.
Yeah.
Can't say his name anymore.
Not anymore.
But it was because he was trying to get me fired too, and I've never understood that. But do you still hold a grudge against that guy?
No, because I heard he got fired and like had to go, like he was
This guy did too.
working shit jobs. So, I mean, thankfully he was doing that. I was aggressively sending out tapes, and I got hired here in Birmingham,
Okay.
and literally was like, I'm out 2 days notice.
Got to move forward because I got two really good ones coming up. Again,
Scared your
if
face.
you want to email great questions for Brittany and Kelly, the next round, a cocktail hour at nextroundlive.com. That's cocktail hour at nextroundlive.com. We will do some of these hopefully every week because these are really good. By the way, brought to you by Next Round Cocktails. We're drinking the Salted Lime Margarita, 14% ABV. Get out and get it. The classic for a reason. Perfect balance of tart and sweet, which I agree with.
Yes.
Resulting in a cocktail you want another round of, which I'm about to have. Made with real lime juice, a sprinkle of salt, and white wine. Yeah, there we go. There's our bartender. Okay, how about this one? This is where we start getting good. Jeff from Inverness, really liking the show. As two women that seem to have experienced very interesting lives, I'm curious on the strangest or most embarrassing thing you've ever walked into.
You go first.
I could start.
Go ahead.
When Taylor brought me these questions, Taylor Corner, our social media director, I read through them, and I picked this one specifically because I'll never forget. I don't want to call him a buddy, but he worked at a local restaurant, and he would always come and he'd hang out when we were sitting in our booth having dinner and just tell us random stories. So his wife of like 4 or 5 years flew her best friend in from college. Mm-hmm. And they had a newborn at that time. And so they're all sitting up drinking together, and he decides to turn in. Well, he goes to bed, hears the newborn crying, goes to check on the newborn, decides to look in another room, and his wife and her friend are butt naked going at it.
Where's the baby?
Oh, he went and got the baby.
Baby's okay.
I said, what do you do in that situation? He said, I turned around and walked off.
Oh. I thought maybe he got naked and was like, all right.
Yeah, I don't know
Here
if they
we go.
wanted that. I think they were kind of pushing him to go to bed. You're going to be shocked they're no longer married.
Oh, man. Can't believe that.
But I am just, can you imagine?
No.
No. I know. No.
What do you do in that situation?
What do you
Back out of the room and just like, did they know that he walked in?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay, so they knew he walked
Yeah.
in. Okay.
So you can't just
Creep out, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see, it's almost like if there's no baby involved, like I'm getting an Uber and I'm just going to take off and leave. I will say most guys would say that situation's better than...
I know, they would sit and be like, all right.
No,
Pull up a chair, grab a beer.
I do think that there's,
great.
I don't know what the percentage is, this is broad brush. I would say 15-20% of guys probably would be like, who cares? I would not be in that category. I'd be a little freaked out by it, especially with the newborn in the other room. Well, probably. They were newly married. I don't know. Anyway, that was my...
Did you take it personally? Like, oh, I'm not satisfying, so she's turning to the friend?
if she's putting me to bed, yeah. Like, let's drink him until he goes down, and then we're going to hook up. So I think that is kind of a shot. If they strategically said, hey, look, this is a fantasy we've always had, and they wanted to talk it out, then at least they give you an option, but basically secluding you.
Yeah.
And then it just seems a little devious, especially with the kid in the house. It's kind of weird. But anyway, that was the one that jumped out to me. I don't know if you guys have got anything close to that.
If I have, I've blocked it out completely.
I know.
I've walked into a hotel room before where somebody was in there. Like I checked into a hotel, they gave me the key. I thought I was walking into my hotel room. This is like recently. And I put the hotel room up to the door, it green lights me, I walk in and there's like a dude.
That's dangerous.
I know.
Was he like, come on in?
Oh.
No, that happened to me.
He kind of looked at me like, oh shit. Like it was kind of, we were both looking at each other like, what the hell? And he was just like sitting on the bed. He wasn't doing anything, but he was sitting on the bed and he had the look of shock and I had the look of shock. Like, there's that moment where you're like, oh,
would it have been?
Thank you.
I wonder if he walked in and he was jerking off. How bad would that be?
No, yeah. No,
or if he was gorgeous, can you imagine?
What if he was like hot?
And that's your origin
Would you
story.
have just stayed?
That's your origin story. Of and so how did y'all meet? You're like,
I just walked in.
Funny thing.
God,
literally,
sent him
yes.
to my room.
No, that happened to me one time. We were traveling. This was back when I was working, and we were traveling. We happened to be staying in the Michigan hotel for the Citrus Bowl. Got in at like 2 a.m. We get our keys, we go, and I'm like, I just open the door, and I hear like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh my gosh! Like it's like grab it, and I like run downstairs, and I was like, this is clearly the wrong room. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's on the team floor. We're so sorry. We meant to put you one up higher.
Those mistakes.
No,
I was like,
You got one job to do,
Right.
Put me in the right room.
yeah, but no, I was gonna say I can't think of clearly nothing that rivals that.
Yeah, that was an incredible story. That was one of the best I've ever heard. Depending on how you look at the situation. Next round cocktail hour with Brittany Wagner, Kelly Hunter. I'm Lance Taylor, just hanging out today, having drinks poured from Kelly, the professional bartender. It was a big pour. My ice has escaped too.
Your little tiny ice.
We've got the shittiest ice maker up here because it's actually good ice. I agree with you.
Cute ice.
Yeah, it's the hollowed out, not pebbles.
Cylindrical.
Yeah, but it's really good for cocktails. But the problem is, our little scooper, can you grab it
It's
just
like
to show 'em?
miniature.
Or you can even grab more ice.
Look how
if you
small
want
that
to.
is. And so by the time you scoop out like 4, the ice is gone and now it's remaking. Do we have any more? Okay, there we go.
It's
you guys
loud,
are just
too.
hooking me up.
No, it is loud too.
We're just here.
That's enough. That's enough. That'll work. Again, Blakelee's Bouquets. We appreciate their sponsorship. Next Round Cocktails. Again, the classic margarita on next week. Strawberry lime rosé sangria.
Ooh, like
we
it.
will try that out. So no great crazy experience like that?
No, I mean,
I've walked in on people before.
I'm like-
I just can't, like right now I'm like, okay, I know I have walked in on like a sexcapade or something, but I can't.
I mean, nothing like that. I've told people, like, when you work in
why
TV
did
and
you-
radio, this sometimes, like, I remember where we used to work, taking the elevator doors open, and like Jerry West is standing there, like just random
Yeah.
shit like that, where you're like, okay,
Whoa.
or like walking in the TV station and there's a fucking llama in the lobby, and you're like, all right, good day here, just stuff like that, but never anything like.
Do you? I mean, you guys have teenagers. I mean, you make sure that we're knocking on doors.
See, I
don't want to walk in on a awkward situation.
I don't either, but
Yeah.
I'm not a knocker.
Oh, I am.
I know, and that's.
Yeah.
She's a close the door person
Yeah.
too. Like she will
Yes.
close that door.
So's-
I will just walk.
So's
in.
Jack, but I'll yell up, "Hey, little man, you okay?" And then, "Hey, I'm coming up." That kind of stuff.
You give them plenty of warning time. Is that what
Just
you're
in
saying?
case. Just in
Oh.
case. Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, this question is going to blow you guys away.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Again, cocktail hour at nextroundlive.com. Please submit your questions. These are awesome. Melissa from Prattville.
Oh, a woman.
Yep.
Okay.
Melissa from Prattville. This one blew me away. I have a really insane situation that I've run into and would love some advice from a female perspective. One of my best friends has been engaged to her boyfriend for 3 years for the last few months, and they're getting married next summer. Just last week, I was at brunch with some mutual friends. Soon-to-be bride was not with us, but her fiance's name came up, and one of our friends has learned he's on Grindr. If you don't know what Grindr is, she says it's a gay app for men. I didn't believe it at first, but then I was convinced when she said a coworker of hers is on the site and showed his profile to her. I'm at a loss about what to do. I'm terrified. If I tell her, she'll be in denial. I'll lose a great friend, but I also don't want her in a marriage that's not authentic. What would you two do in the same situation?
Tell her.
Tell her, without a doubt.
No doubt.
I
I mean,
think-
like if they're like best friends, if it's like an acquaintance friend, somebody you're not really that close to, then I think you.
Dude, that's when I hope I go to
You
the
tread
wedding, because that's
lightly.
going to be awesome.
But
Like, if it's not a close friend, I'm like, I'm all in on this.
but if it's a close friend, she said close friend.
Yeah, don't you
Yeah,
almost,
have to tell her.
to just out the guy, don't you wait until the rehearsal? No, I guess you
No,
can't do that. So I
that's-
was going to say you could put his profile
I don't
picture
want
up.
to. No, that's that's a lot of money to lay out there. To then all of a sudden,
you have to tell her now.
Well, and there's also other things that come with that, you know? I mean,
oh yeah,
yeah, I mean, that's...
you don't know what else he's bringing into the relationship
yeah,
at that
yeah.
point. Like,
But you also, people make other profiles for people. Like somebody could, like
using
I'm
his
just
face?
Gonna devil's advocate
yeah,
this.
yeah.
People create fake profiles and they'll take their pictures off of social media and create a dating profile that they didn't really approve or do. So he may have, like, somebody may be either playing a joke, you know, and putting him out there on a gay website.
Boy, that is kind of a rough joke.
my
isn't it?
gosh.
Or,
I mean, that's
you know,
that's playing the joke for the long game. That's not like.
yeah. Or maybe he has dabbled before, and so somebody's using his stuff to kind of get back at him.
Okay,
and be
where
like,
we
to
are
say
in the
he's
South,
dabbled.
obviously it's not nearly as accepted as it is in other cities. And you guys will admit, I mean, I think I know some gay guys that are married, and maybe it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
that front, or maybe they want kids, or whatever the reason is. But either their wives just don't know, or they are in total denial. But I think for this girl, you've got to at least tell her the story, let her confront him, and find out what the real
she
story
may
is.
know. He may be bi, and she may be okay with it.
That's a good point too.
I know.
mean,
That's-
some of this is acceptable, and people are.
No,
fine
you
with
hear
it.
stories about that. Like, we're like, did the wife know? And people are like, yes. You're like, and she's still there. Like,
I wonder how much money this guy's got. You know, if she
I
does
mean,
know.
look,
That's
it's not competition for you.
That's true.
If he likes you and he's loyal to you, but he happens to dabble in this over here every now and then,
Or
what's-
they
It's
could
almost
have-
a Game of Thrones
What's it
episode
to
right here,
me?
though. You know.
or it could be like you keep hearing about
yeah.
people, like celebrities, where it's an open marriage. Like, you keep hearing these stories about, like, they just have an open
You do
marriage
what
and
you
it's an
wanna do,
understanding.
I'll do what I want to do. We just don't ask me. And
I had an
ask
Uber
you.
driver the other night. This is so random. I told this story to somebody.
You
and they
told
were
it
like,
to us.
oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Off the air.
Okay.
Which one?
So I had this Uber driver. I was doing one of our events on a weeknight, and she picked me up, and she heard me on the phone, and I was in, I won't say an argument. It was just something stupid about where we were going to dinner, and she's like, she was asking me about the relationship or whatever, and I was like, it's good. And she was like, you know what you need to get into? And I forgot the name of it. There's a term for an open relationship. And so I got just fascinated at this point. I'm like, so like, are you guys in love? Oh yeah, sure, we're in love. We're about to buy our first house together. And I was like, well, how does that work? Well, we're getting a 3-bedroom, and when he has his people over, he goes to his room, I go to mine. We just make sure no feelings, no emotion. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, really, there's a different subculture out there. So this girl could know. Who knows?
She might know.
There's
So, I
some
mean,
freaks
just-
out there.
Just
Yeah.
prove your loyalty to her. You know, like you're a good friend. You're proving your loyalty, and you could even say it with like, "Hey, you may like."
You may already know
I may
this.
not be.
I was unaware.
Yeah,
You may
I'm
be
not going to
fine,
judge.
and it's okay.
Not going to judge.
It's your relationship.
Yeah, I just want to let you know in case
I
you
just-
don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
This dude is on Grindr. It might be a joke. You might want to fill it out with him. Melissa from Prattville, you've got to get back with us and
Yeah,
let us
I
know how
have
this
to
thing
know.
plays out.
This is one of the this is
I
like
have to
one
know.
of those things on social media where you're like, I need to find this. I want to know the story.
Yeah,
like you
what's
can't
your
just
last
post
name?
this
Let me
and not tell us how it ends.
Stalk
I remember
you.
one time I met this guy down at the dog park, and we were talking, and our dogs were playing and everything, and he said, oh yeah, I live up there with my roommate, blah blah blah. And then I meet the roommate, and he's this old guy, and it's this young guy, and I was asking, like, where's the dog sleep? Some nights he sleeps in my room, some nights he sleeps in my room. And I said something later to some other people, and they're like, you know they're gay, right? I'm like, well, they said they had their own rooms. And I was like, oh, well, maybe they, I was like, okay, this is like a whole dynamic that I can't process of like, okay, well. And then I found out that the old guy was putting the young guy through school and all that. I'm like,
So he had a sugar daddy.
exactly.
Awesome.
Wow.
Drove a nice little sporty car, and yeah.
See, like my best friend was in town this weekend, and we went to walk-ons last night, and
Good.
we were
Sports
sitting on the
sponsor.
same side of the bench
Yep.
because we were trying to watch the game, like you know. So we were on one of those big booths in the bar, and we were sitting on the same side. And I looked at her and I said, "You know, everyone
Yeah.
thinks we're a lesbian
They
couple
hope.
right now." And she was like, "Should I scoot closer and put my arm around you?" I'm like, "Please
Yes.
do. Like this will be." So
I was going to ask you how your dating world's going, but
It's non-existent.
it's okay. Hey,
I've had a
cocktail.
couple people DM me though from listening to this show.
Hey, that's
mean,
where we are.
I
They-
told
didn't
you
respond,
that is on, like, if we have to put goals
But
up
I
for this
have
this
had a
show,
few.
that is one of them.
True
I was
love
like,
can be found anywhere. Cocktail hour at nextroundlive.com. Please shoot us these mailbag questions. Awesome. Great episode.
Yeah.
I know.
guess.
Good.
Appreciate you guys letting me crash.
Yeah.
I know I was no good at this,
No, it's great.
You're
Okay,
good.
but tell it's really
You're good.
simple to do this, right?
very simple.
Okay.
Just don't let Lance do it.
Next Round Cocktails, line of crowd-pleasing cocktails made with real fruit juice. We're doing the classic margarita, 14% ABV, the classic for a reason. Perfect balance of tart and sweet, resulting in a cocktail you'll want another round of, made with a real lime juice, sprinkle of salt and white wine. Also, Blakelee's Bouquets, anniversary arrangements, new baby gifts, birthday flowers, same-day delivery in Birmingham and beyond. Whether it's wedding flowers, sympathy,
Not
funeral
Symphony.
Don't.
flowers in Birmingham,
pulling a
then
Brittany here.
Blakelee's Bouquets is your best choice.
Don't
Blakelee's
do that. Don't do that.
Bouquets.com.
That's not a good look.
Don't do
that. Don't do that.
Really appreciate both
Just
sponsors.
stop.
You know what I noticed is y'all drink slower when I'm here. And I'm like talking
Because
more,
we're
so it gives
listening
you
to you.
more time to drink.
No, we're listening to you because we're
We're-
like, yeah, we're. I'm like, tell me this story. Okay,
I
so
have a question. Are
yes.
we done? Are we
No,
out?
you go ahead. You go ahead. You ask
No.
your
We don't
question. I'll ask
have
mine.
our nifty little timer.
I know.
I have a question. So I was watching the Mississippi State game.
And by the way, she's a Mississippi State fan, big fan, and y'all are good
Alumni.
this year.
I know, right? And so, okay, Mike Leach, the interview before the game, he had a coffee in his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and Marty Smith asked him, like, how do you take your coffee? And I mean, he's just freaking hilarious. And so he proceeds to say, like, coffee's disgusting. Like, can we just admit it?
Mm-hmm. You just
I'm not
gotta
a big
force
coffee
it
guy.
down. You gotta force
Do
it
you
down.
guys like
And-
coffee?
Yes,
drink coffee.
I do, yeah. And Marty was like, well, okay, why do you drink it? Like, if you think it's disgusting, like, do you load it down with sugar? Do you try to make it taste like something else? And he's like, no, it's one of those things that's like, you just endure the sip for the outcome. So that's my question.
like taking shots,
Is there
I guess.
anything you endure the sip for the outcome? And sip, I'm like
Yeah.
air quoting.
Okay.
Until I acquired a taste from tequila. It's a bad answer.
Yeah.
It used to be tequila like when I was young,
Yeah.
and there's so many really good tequilas like Babel and whatever's in this, unbelievable. But yeah, when you sip that, a little bit different. But back in the day, you'd take a shot of something and just, like El Toro or whatever not El Toro.
Whatever the well brand is.
Whatever the well brand was. I mean, it was just awful. But you did it for the end result, which was not remembering the night, which made no sense.
To that person, yeah. Really wanted to talk to them.
Wasting money and not remembering the night.
No, I don't drink coffee for that reason. And also because I never could finish a cup. I would reheat it so many times that I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? So I don't even bother.
You know what I've noticed though? One thing, when I go to a good meal, I feel like I've got to order something green. And I like salads now, but like the vegetables are like the worst part on some of these meals.
Oh, I'm so with you.
So it's like I've got to eat.
I'm
still a
opposite.
kid.
I'm the person that orders the vegetable.
No, I like cream corn with a bunch of cheese in it and stuff. And it's a potato. I guess you consider it a vegetable. I consider it almost a different food group altogether because you can do potatoes so many different ways. But I'm talking about what's a good example?
Brussels sprouts. Do you like?
I like Brussels sprouts when they're
Asparagus.
caramelized, and I like asparagus.
They've got to be doused in stuff.
Absolutely.
Broccoli.
Broccoli, when I can dip it in Baumhauer's their white barbecue sauce or cheese all over it. But broccoli by itself, hell no.
Is there any
vegetable? I'm like him. I eat no vegetables. No, I eat no vegetables. Corn on the cob? Does that count?
Yeah, with a bunch of
with butter and
butter
salt on it? Yes. No, I don't eat vegetables. I have learned to eat a spinach salad. I have learned to do that. But
I can do a salad, but I'm just telling you, it's just.
Here's the hard part. When you go out to eat.
I feel like I need to though. This past weekend, I ate so bad and drank so bad, I didn't come close to a vegetable. I mean, it was burgers all weekend.
So
pizza.
You came close to a vegetated state, but not a vegetable.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
No,
I've got to get healthy.
I'm the one.
I love vegetables.
When we go out to when you go out to eat with women, they typically get really healthy food, and I'm like, I'll get the pizza.
And you hear their stomachs rumbling.
Oh, and they're like, I'm starving, and they'll eat half a side salad. And meanwhile, this is a specific example. I had eaten 7 of the 8 slices of pizza, and I look around, and everybody's still got half their salad on their plate. I'm like, I'll just get this to go. And my friend was like, you're going to eat that before you even get. I'm like, you're damn right I'm going to eat that before I get back to the hotel. I was like, who says they're starving and eats half a side salad? No. Oh, no. I don't.
Okay.
I don't like vegetables.
Fun time. You got something?
I was going to ask you, so right now, what trumps for you on sports, football or baseball?
Oh, football.
Okay.
A couple of years ago when the Dodgers won their first series since '88 in 2020, baseball would get a TV. Baseball doesn't even get a TV on a Saturday or Sunday now.
Not even for the NLDS?
Now, tomorrow we've got, and as we record this on a Monday, we've got 4, quadruple headers.
Yeah.
So I'll watch all those.
I find it interesting because
But you're a huge Braves.
I am.
It's Braves and then everything else underneath.
It is true, but because that's the sport. That's sports in Atlanta. But it's amazing. The defending World Series champion gets a early day slot.
Yeah, but New York and LA markets.
Yeah, I know. I know. But you're
baseball.
Still
I loved it. It was my sport growing up. I played it forever, and it is the most boring sport outside of the postseason or going to a game. I know you disagree.
No,
you watch
the suspense of the hanging suspense of baseball.
There's no hanging suspense.
Are you kidding? When you get to the bottom of the ninth or the top of the ninth?
Well, Kenley Jansen. That's why you say that.
Well, it's because you never know which way it's going to go with him. But
it's either going to be Dodgers, Braves, or Astros for sure.
Dodgers, Braves. Well, yeah. I thought you were going to say Dodgers, Braves, Padres.
No. Dodgers, Braves.
Okay, I do want to ask though. Can you believe that the Mets are out?
I think it's kind of exciting because Mets fans are annoying.
Did they collapse
They collapsed.
Now you have to admit, because I am a Braves fan, that the Braves did come and take it. They didn't just they had to bust their asses.
You guys
to get
are really
there.
good, but the Mets collapsed.
They did. And it's just funny to listen to DeGrom and Scherzer and everybody, and they're like, no, you just imploded. Okay, sorry. I had to ask because
No, all good.
Baseball is still mine.
God, there was one other thing I was going to throw at you guys.
Have you ever staged a space to get someone's negative energy out? Because Giselle staged her car. Did y'all hear about that?
Do you guys think she's really banging Antonio Brown?
Wait, what? I had not heard that.
Well, he keeps sending out stuff. And I don't know if he's just trolling Tom Brady, but I don't know.
So funny,
it's kind of weird, yeah.
That and the number of people trolling Russell Wilson.
Tom Brady ends up on Raya.
Oh, but then you'd
Are
have
you
to eat
swiping
so,
right?
No,
I'm
you'd have to
checking it
eat
every
so
day.
healthy.
No, except I'm not.
He would be boring
Oh
as
my
shit.
God.
He probably is boring, and I'm not following Giselle Bundchen, really. Like, who wants to follow that? But I heard she took her like Range Rover, which I think it's funny that you're saging a Range Rover. But she took her car to some spiritual healer and had it saged because she was apparently I think they had like gotten in a fight or something in her car. She was trying to get the.
I've been
She was
using
trying to get the
sage
bad
for
energy
over
out of
20
her car.
years.
I use it too.
Yeah, I use it for just sporting events though.
Really?
Like I don't use it
Oh.
for like personal life
use
stuff.
it for
Like last year for the Rams run to the Super Bowl, I was burning a different like kind of sage every Sunday or Saturday. when they
fuck you
were playing.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and I did it for the Lakers. I'll never forget. They won a Lakers championship. I'm totally convinced. My sage is the
Your
shit.
sage
I've got a
won
bottle.
the
Seriously, I've
championship.
got a bottle, and I used to label the game when I started burning the sage, what the score was, and then the final score. And it was amazing. I mean,
And
I went on an incredible
Like,
run.
did you have a sage stick that was luckier, and so you would sage with that stick to bring the luck, or
Not,
you like?
not
no?
really, but I burned it in this one
Your dad,
container.
okay.
Yeah.
Y'all fucking
and-
Wiccans, or what are y'all doing here?
I burn it too.
Yeah. This is
just-
something we'll get into next week, but there was a witch festival in Birmingham last week. Did you guys even know this?
No.
No one invited me. but-
I didn't get invited
Wow,
either. I
how
found
about
out about it
that?
after the fact.
Shocking.
I know.
Next Round Cocktail Hour, Brittany Wagner, Kelly Hunter, cocktail hour at nextroundlive.com. Give us questions. We want them thanks to Blakelee's Bouquets. Also, Next Round Cocktails. Pick some of these up. You'll love it. Have a great week. Tell your friends. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. We appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks.